To Money, Marriage, and Media. I'm your host, Mike, and today we're looking at a channel that I've never seen before. This showed up in my feed, and I figured, you know what? Sometimes I'm always on the search for new content. Again, we're always looking for high level conversations, right? So this YouTuber is called Lucky Marie, and it's a panel of women. So I said it might be interesting. And then again, the topic is confused men waste time. What is struggle love? So it's three women. So I'm assuming that they're going to be talking about men. Now, again, why is this important? Because the gender war is dumb. We have to start breaking down what each side is actually talking about so we can move forward, right? So we can move the conversation forward. So we're going to jump right in, see what the ladies are talking about. Let's go.
You supposed to stick around because they say women want the men that got the money and this that, and the other. But we gonna have to understand that he gonna cheat.
When Jada,
I'm sorry, he's gonna exercise options.
when Jada,
Okay, popular YouTube talking point right here, right? And then, but I find that most people who talk about it, they misinterpret what it actually is. The exercising options thing, it's not cheating. Why is it not cheating? Because when it's an option, that means that that the man and the woman discussed it beforehand. That's why is because again it came from Kevin Samuels, and he enlightened the world about what happens in these high value relationships. Again, I don't focus on high value, but this is one of those topics that comes up so much. It's right up there in the gender war, and it is a great. This topic usually incites the gender war, right? But that's the whole thing. There is that this is why I don't have a problem with it, because if it's one of those things that the two people have worked out in advance, then I don't have an issue with it. And obviously they don't either. That's why I say if you can find, if this is a marriage and that's what works for them, then hey, I'm not anybody to go and knock against them. Now the problem comes in, and what they're probably about to talk about is if the guy has never said anything. That is cheating. Because you what okay, I'm probably going, I don't want to get off topic because they talking about that now, but that's not the title of that's at the bottom of the screen. So we're gonna keep moving.
Jada was with Baby and Baby went on tour, you know Baby was with somebody else, and you know Jada was with somebody else.
Okay, clearly I'm too old for this conversation because I don't know who they talking about. Hey, I'm guilty. I'm in my 40s. They clearly are not. So I'm gonna try and struggle through this.
I don't know
No
about.
pun
I
intended.
think she's an angel. I don't think she can.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think she
Nothing. I can't see her doing nothing bad.
Can't either. Let me say the super chat.
I-
There was. Let me get through the super chat. Thank you, Freezy. He said you should only be with someone you share the same values. It doesn't make sense
Right.
otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Yasa said again, thank you, Freezy. Struggle love is beautiful if both partners are supporting their relationship towards success. Struggle love is beautiful. Let me tell you what I think of struggle love. The struggling part I think of is
I actually agree with that last super chat. It can be good because it's a what a wise man was called as an IKEA marriage. You know, you two get together, and then y'all basically coming up through the struggle together. It's funny they didn't recognize this in the beginning because most women would appreciate a relationship where the man and the woman where they build a life together. You know, they build that empire together. But I guess I don't know. Maybe let's see what happens. I'm just surprised that didn't click because that's usually what women talk about a lot. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy.
is those men that have a hard time comprehending communication. Which, let me say it like this. You ever been with a dude where everything would have been cool, but they want you to talk out your problems? When you saying your damn problems, it's no change behavior. Or it just seemed like every time you're expressing it, he has a defense, or it's like more of a, oh, you tripping. You always got something. That's the part I think of when I think of struggle love. I don't necessarily think of financial. I think of the struggle from the standpoint of it's a struggle loving your motherfucking ass. Because as I'm trying to learn you, as I'm trying to also get you to learn me, we keep hitting a brick wall because I'm communicating with you. But you know, dealing with men, you have to figure out how to bring stuff up without hurting their ego. And every time you hurt
Yeah.
Gender War Basics 101. That's what we're looking at. the stuff she's talking about is often used to incite the gender war. And I don't know anybody's status on the panel. I don't know if they're married or not. To me, you're either married or you're not. So I don't know. I suspect the way this young lady is talking, I don't think she's married, because the reality is that marriage is about compromise. Oftentimes, so little male perspective here. Oftentimes, when you're dealing with a guy and you have the issue that she's talking about, to where you constantly have to remind him of things. Look, I'm gonna just be brutally honest. A lot of times, those things are not a priority to him. That's why he can't remember to do them. Now, there could be multiple reasons why they're not a priority. He could have other things going on, especially if it's your husband. The other thing that might be going on there is that your value to him, your value may not be high enough for him to warrant enough time to go and do those things. Hard pill to swallow, I know it, but a lot of times, unfortunately, that's what's going on. Well, why is he with me? A lot of times it's consistent sex. Men will go through a whole lot that they're getting consistent sex, and you may do a lot of things that are displeasing or to him or pissing him off. He's just not going to say anything because it's consistent sex. Sounds weird, I know, but ladies, a lot of times this is how we think. So what I would say is that, if your goal is to get married, if that guy is, y'all need to be having a serious conversation. I don't recommend any woman commit to a man who's not interested in who his goal is not marriage, especially if yours is. So if this guy if he wants to get married within a reasonable amount of time, then I would say that it's worth trying to work it out, because you're already together anyway. If you shouldn't be with a man if you don't see yourself getting married to him. That's plain and simple. So in her scenario, you got to get to the bottom of what is that guy's priorities, because something is preventing him. Because guys respond very positively or very well to direct communication. By that I mean that if you're upfront and direct with him, a lot of times men will tend to respond well to that, as in, we understand it. It's when you start getting when things start getting convoluted is when guys usually start to struggle. So if you're being upfront and direct with him, and he's still not giving you what you need, then that relationship may be unbalanced. Because again, most guys are going to stay on board if there's consistent sex. So if he's not fulfilling the things that you're requiring, then he may feel like the relationship is out of balance. In order to balance the scales again, he's saying, well, I can't do that because things are not right here, and I'm having to do too much for this, and it's throwing him off balance. But I digress. Let's keep going. Let's see. I'm hoping this doesn't turn into a complaining video, because again, the gender war is dumb.
No,
Sensitive.
I'm inclined to think they more sensitive than us.
Very sensitive.
How would you? Okay, so let me just hypothetical. You with a man, you love him a lot, but he's not pleasing you sexually. How do you tell him without hurting his ego? Exactly. There's no fucking way he's going to be hurt. So then you gotta.
False. There is a way. You're gonna have to be upfront with him. Tell him what you like. Most guys, believe it again, this is a great example. Again, these are gender war topics, but like I said, we got to, every now and then we need to go through these, because we got to start breaking this stuff down. So here's an uncomfortable truth about men. Yes, sex is important to us, but you know what's also important to us? Making sure that you enjoy it. So if you're telling a guy, the best time to tell him is probably during the act. As long as it's more instruction based, then most guys are not going to have an issue with it, especially if it gets you to finish. How do I say this? To finish quicker or to finish stronger. Yeah, most guys are going to be open to hearing about that. So I would say if you guys are in love, if you guys have been together for a while and it sexually is not working, you need to bring that up. Don't just sit there and lie to the guy and make him and stroke his ego, because eventually he's gonna find out. And if you throw it back in his face, that doesn't end well. Again, why do we do that? Especially if we know the gender war is dumb. And I'm going to keep saying that because we have to move past this stuff.
Sit there and fake it. And to me, that is a struggle. Like, we literally got to dismiss the sexual gratification in women because you can't communicate that to men.
Yeah, that's hard. Like, even if he gets over it, initially, he's going to be offended. There is really no going around that.
Yeah, you're for sure his ego. Like, he probably not even gonna want to have sex with you no more. Like, he gonna be like,
yeah, but see, that's the thing. They could tell us all day, I don't want you because you fat, you got a weave in your hair, you woo. You also not this, I don't like that, but yeah, and still
don't know how to please everybody.
We can't.
This 100% is a complaining section. You can tell because they're conflating two things. Guy having standards, right? And his sexual ability, I guess we could call it, his ability to perform in the bedroom, as if those two things are equal. They're complaining because the guy has standards on how the woman, because he's telling the standards of how what he's attracted to. And see, the argument is that, well, he can't perform in the bedroom, so that's not fair. So women don't have standards for how a guy should look when he approaches them? Yeah. Like I said, we got to go through these sometimes.
I can't tell you that you sexually not hitting the wall if you kind of get what I'm saying. You're not really.
All you can say is your dick little, and all they gonna say is I still fuck. So.
Right, but why is that like a thing? Like, he don't even care. And
They don't even care. Like,
dude, that don't even count. I'm not counting. I'm bumping coochies with you. That don't count.
This is a lesbian.
Okay, more shaming language. I think I'm about done with this one. Because, again, this is gender war, the gender war basics. You know, it's a complaining session about women complaining about men. When you see these sessions, you know, the first thing goes to my mind is that, you know, are these women in relationships? If they are, well, it really goes to, are these women married? Probably not. Why do I say that? Well, number one, because I know the marriage rates. I have to. It's part of, you know, I got to keep up with this stuff for the YouTube channel. But also, what does that say about your husband? You know, oftentimes women will, these types of conversations are important because, again, it's all women. So you get to see what women actually talk about. But because a lot of times women will have conversations behind the scenes where there are no men present. I've been told from a good source, my wife, it says that women do hold women accountable. They just don't do it in public. I'm starting to believe that. But again, you know, conversations like this are hard to listen to. But at some point, like I said, we got to start breaking this stuff down. Because otherwise, if no one tells these ladies anything, I mean, I'm getting a strong impression that these women have no knowledge of the male experience, and they don't really know men that well. It makes me wonder, like, what's the relationship like with their father? Because a lot of times that is the primary, the source relationship for women. How they perceive men, they usually looking through the lens of their father. So, you know, because that's how. But look, that's a whole nother topic. I'm going to leave this one here. You guys check out the channel if you want to. Like I said, it popped up in my feed. I haven't seen any more of the channel from Lucky. Well, it may come up again. If it comes up in my feed again, you know, I'll be happy to check it out, and, you know, we can do a video of it. But until then, I'm going to stay ghost till the next time. Thanks for making it to the end of this video, but do me another favor, like and subscribe, but also check out these here. Either subscribe or watch videos, one or the other. I don't know which side, but hey, all right.